Perhaps the reason why I'm making this videos, as they call them, but it's more like an expression that must be put forward, must be there, put there, um, basically because that's how things are help to manifest. While the Jazzara was progressing, and I was involved with it for like 10 years now. Um, I mean, very massively involved. I'm familiar to the Swisindo friends, to Babak Sugi himself. Uh, Thanks to my work for the Swisindo organization, the United Nations Bank, as they call them, the Swisindo, uh, whatever. And then before that, I was on ZAZ, as a as ZAADZ was the greatest site ever for social media site that was closed and sold over to Gaia. So I was there in 2005, and we already there were talking about the RV. Anyway, the excitement about the new opening that life will be free on this planet Earth, for me, it was the headline. And we arrived to hear uh, perhaps what 14 years of consciously uh, advancing on this liberation course in many ways, not only the money, but also in every perspective of life, really. Um, and I've been helped greatly by higher spirits, by friends. You gave me insights, gave me grander perspective for uh, other universes, really. So it's very helpful to have so much and so different perspective to come to this point. Eventually, the not receiving the delays forced me into investigate into many fields. Some of them are mine, some of them are general service, like a QFS that I was learning. How could it be? How could it work? How could a quantum system would work? So I had figured this about 10 years ago. But the thing that I think one of the top of my achievements, and there were many, many achievements during this time in my own field of work, is that and I have to express it because this is the way that I want to proceed with this. This must be expressed, so I have to say this in this way or another. I'm not going to perhaps publish it on public places, in public places, but at least I said as short as I can, or short as the video allows. Is that I found my what would be appropriate perhaps to call my twin flame woman. but we don't have any field of common field of interest. There are many explanations to what is twin flame. I didn't find one that is satisfactory for me, because all those explanations depend on all teaching about incarnation, about soul groups, about life and death, and soul born with a plan, and so forth. I found it very hard to buy all this. I never bought into the Tibetan teaching. I didn't believe Ramfuchi, the Book of the Dead. I didn't believe it. I think it's a scammer. Ramfuchi himself, and the Dalai Lama is a criminal. Is a spiritual criminal, a big spiritual criminal actually. So I don't believe all this soul incarnation kind of stuff. It's very romantic, but it doesn't hold any merit for me. I mean, you can take any ideology and enforce it by bringing all kind of explanations and so forth. It's like a new hope for a return of the old system. That's what it looks to me. But for me, new twin flame, if I'm allowed to speak about twin flame from my own perspective, it is a twin flame is born uh, in infinity. And in this kind of relationship, the what I call the 11th dimension is created in communication between the two flames and another which serves as a conduit, as a point of reference, as a point of energy, as somebody to oversee it. So we also have somebody to oversee our relationship, whom both we of us trust. And himself, he doesn't believe in twin flames. He doesn't believe it exists. So I'm kind of left to explain what twin flame is. And in my case, the twin flame that I found is relative to me on the most source level. It is not relating to me on any evolved level. There's no, the both of us have grown up in different life path. So we, other than our natural attraction and inclination, and our initial strong will to realize this relationship on Earth, this became very, very challenging because there's no point of communication other than the organic uh, level that is more like source level, that is the feeling of finding home and finding new life together. But then new life started, and it's lingering. It lingers despite all this communication, this miscommunication, this lack of ability to relate further in any. There's no consent. There's no teaching that we share. I've been through completely different paths. So I find this at this moment, please. I find this a barrier, uh, and unless something or few things, detrimental things change in this reality, uh, let's say I would not be able to manifest this. Following my path takes me on the individual level, an individual trip to manifest what is potential freely when I'm free. So first of all, I must be free to be able to take this issue if I take it again and treat it in a different way. Yeah. So this was perhaps I do another one on flame dedicated to twin flame only, and try to add to the common knowledge, to global knowledge about, because it's a new thing. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm your son again. Ciao.